Russia's PAK-DA prospective aviation complex for long-range aviation remains one of the most ambitious yet elusive defense aviation programs currently under development in the world. Officially initiated by the Russian Ministry of Defense in the late 2000s, the program was designed to deliver a completely new class of strategic bomber capable of operating in high-threat environments with modern stealth, electronic warfare, and long-range strike capabilities. Unlike previous aircraft that were upgraded over several decades, this bomber was envisioned as a clean-sheet design tailored for 21st-century military requirements. The design contract was awarded to the Tupolev Design Bureau, the traditional manufacturer of Soviet and Russian strategic bombers. After years of internal conceptual work, full-scale development was reportedly authorized by the Kremlin around 2013. The aircraft is being developed under the umbrella of the United Aircraft Corporation (UAC), with key manufacturing activities concentrated at the Kazan Aircraft Production Association (KAPO), one of Russia's most advanced aerospace facilities. PAK-DA is planned as a stealth, subsonic, flying wing aircraft, a configuration chosen to reduce radar visibility by minimizing the number of protruding surfaces such as vertical tails and external weapons pylons. The flying wing design allows the aircraft to be more survivable in contested airspace by relying heavily on passive stealth characteristics rather than speed or maneuverability. This represents a major shift from older strategic bomber designs that often emphasized supersonic speed or long-distance standoff capability without emphasis on radar evasion. Early projections indicated the bomber would feature an internal payload bay capable of carrying a maximum weapons load of approximately 30,000 kilograms. The design includes accommodations for advanced avionics, radar-absorbing materials, and extensive mission modularity, including conventional deep strike missions, electronic suppression roles, and long-range strategic deterrence operations. The range of the aircraft was expected to exceed 12,000 kilometers, enabling it to conduct intercontinental missions without aerial refueling. The propulsion system is expected to be based on a heavily modified version of the N.K.-32 engine, possibly designated N.K.32.02, or a derivative thereof. However, production capacity for this engine has been extremely limited in recent years, creating significant bottlenecks. This has forced Russian manufacturers to prioritize other programs over new engine production, further delaying progress on the PAK-DA platform. Although the Ministry of Defense and several Russian media outlets have made repeated claims that a prototype is nearing completion and that test flights could occur by 2025 or 2026, no independent verification of these claims exists as of mid-2025. No official images, satellite-confirmed construction progress, or third-party verification of a complete airframe have been published. Publicly available satellite imagery of the Kazan facility does show construction activity and upgrades, but nothing that confirms the presence of a near-flight-ready aircraft. Several challenges have continued to plague the program. First is the issue of component shortages. Following extensive international sanctions placed on Russia in 2014 and again in 2022, the country has struggled to source high-quality electronic components, radar-absorbing materials, composite structures, and manufacturing tooling. Although Russia has tried to ramp up domestic production of these critical parts, the gap between required specifications and local capacity remains wide. Second is the issue of financing and national priority. Russia's defense spending has been increasingly consumed by ongoing military operations, requiring significant short-term expenditures in artillery, munitions, and basic vehicle production. This has left fewer resources for long-horizon projects like next-generation strategic bombers, which require sustained investment over more than a decade before reaching operational readiness. While the PAK-DA remains part of official military development plans, actual funding flows and production schedules have likely been cut back. Third, there is a general lack of transparency about the program's true status. Russian state media and defense officials continue to speak about the bomber in optimistic terms, but much of this messaging appears to be political in nature, aimed at maintaining an image of technological parity with rival powers. In contrast, Western analysts and former aerospace contractors reviewing the program consider many of these statements to be overstated. Without any real-world evidence of a completed prototype or demonstrator aircraft, there is increasing skepticism that the aircraft will fly within the next few years. Additionally, industrial expertise is a limiting factor. Developing a stealth bomber from scratch involves solving numerous technical problems in airframe shaping, radar signature control, heat management, electronic warfare integration, low observable coatings, and systems redundancy. These areas require deep expertise, stable supply chains, and highly specialized engineering teams. While Russia has decades of experience building military aircraft, stealth bombers represent an entirely different level of engineering complexity, one that only a few countries have ever successfully mastered. Some reports have indicated that ground-based radar signature testing of individual components or partial mock-ups may have taken place. There are also claims that cockpit designs, avionics modules, and simulation training platforms are under development. However, these activities are typical of early-phase aircraft programs and do not confirm any readiness for flight or serial production. As of the current year, all observable trends suggest that PAK-DA remains in a prolonged development stage, possibly limited to static prototyping, simulation, and subsystem integration. No flight test schedule has been published, and no hardware has been displayed in public or to international observers. Given the current rate of progress, most realistic estimates place a first flight no earlier than 2027 or 2028, with any meaningful production delayed to the early to mid-2030s, if it proceeds at all. The PAK-DA program is not fictional or propaganda, it is a real defense aviation effort under official development by Russia. But the challenges it faces are significant, including economic, technological, industrial, and strategic limitations. Despite government announcements and optimistic timelines, the program is far behind schedule, and its future remains uncertain. The lack of visible progress and verifiable results has led many experts to conclude that while the concept may eventually produce a prototype, large-scale deployment is unlikely within the next decade unless Russia experiences major breakthroughs in both manufacturing capability and financial stability.